Hi everyone, welcome to Be Different for Success. Today we'll be talking about REI, real estate investment. If you've ever sold or purchased property, you may have come across the abbreviation REI. But what does REI stand for? It stands for real estate investment. REI is a reference to real estate that's bought, managed, rented, or sold for profit. Here we'll look at the term REI in further detail, asking whether real estate is worth investing in. What does REI stand for, beyond the acronym? Why is real estate referred to as an investment? Real estate is an investment when it generates income, that is, profit. This relates to money that's generated to invest. It's therefore different from property being used as a place of residence. Investing in real estate allows people to generate capital gains. This is due to their property value increasing over time. This comes in the form of ongoing rental income, which comes from the property's tenants. Some investors will buy multiple real estate properties. These properties serve as several investments, bringing in many forms of income. Some will even invest in a property to improve on it. Then they'll flip it for a higher sale price, thus making a profit in the process. Furthermore, real estate is a more common and indeed popular form of investment. This means that more people have access to it than ever before. This is regardless of those newcomers to the market or those more experienced who make a living out of it. REI is also considered a safer option when compared to other investment types. This explains its increasing popularity. Is real estate worth the investment? Potential investors want to know whether real estate is worth their time and, of course, money. The truth is, real estate's considered a good investment choice, provided you're ready to start investing in it wisely. Most people prefer this method of investing because of the passive income it generates. REI income is also considered a steady source, and is also believed to be one of the best long-term investment choices. Although this is only possible if the property value increases over time. For some people, investing in real estate is the first step towards building wealth. Real estate can indeed pay off financially if you ensure that you have a clear path going into it. This means paying for your investments with cash. This is especially so when you start out, as you do not want your property to become a financial burden. The idea is for it to generate and build wealth. It's not going to put you in a situation whereby you can't afford your mortgage payments. This will in turn damage your credit, making it difficult to invest further down the line. Some financial experts will recommend against borrowing to buy investments, so make sure you can either pay in cash or at the very least afford to pay your mortgage without relying on your rental income. Should there be a dry spell in finding people to rent your property, you'll need to know you can manage the payments regardless. Ensuring you can meet all the expenses required. Before you make your financial decision on REI, plan out all your expenses up front. This means finding out beforehand what taxes, utilities, and maintenance costs are. You'll also need to factor in potential repairs, fees, and extra costs that may arise during the process. For this reason, many investors like to have what's known as a sinking fund to start. This involves setting a certain amount of money aside for such expenses. Determine the amount you'll need to place into a sinking fund at the very beginning. This ensures you won't have to access an emergency fund. At worst, neither will you have to revert to your savings account should any other costs arise. Researching your intended property carefully. With REI, it's crucial to look forward and consider any potential factors. These are those issues that may influence the value of your intended property. This means very carefully researching that land for issues such as potential new roads that can affect property value later. So it pays to be one step ahead before making the final investment. Investing is a balance between risk and reward, but the more you can foresee, the more scope you have to act. This is crucial before making those all-important financial decisions. Starting out small. One of the best pieces of advice when starting out in REI is to begin purchasing a smaller property. This allows you to dip your toes in the water and get a feel for the whole concept of realty. Once you're comfortable with your investment, you can make payments and meet expenses. thereby developing confidence. You'll also gain vital first-hand investment knowledge. Some investors like to buy a first development, whereby they too can live or rent within it. Then, when they know they can manage, they consider expanding their portfolio and managing more properties. As a result, when done well, the return for such an investment is greater. Is REI safe? With the ability to earn better returns on investments comes the ultimate concept of safety. Unfortunately, no investment is 100% risk-free, especially those that offer the greatest rewards. Yet the savvy and wise investor will understand such risks beforehand. They'll therefore work to mitigate them as much as possible. But when it comes to real estate, this is one investment that many agree will always be worth something. It's also the place whereby the market's considered steadier in general. With many options available, real estate's considered a wise choice. This is especially true for those first-time investors. It offers several options to reduce risk by diversifying the property portfolio. And it's made all the better by placing money into several real estate investments rather than putting it all into one. Simple ways to get started in REI. With several primary ways of making money through REI, here are 4 to get you started. Number 1. Become the landlord of your property. Buy a property that you can rent out and from which you can receive regular income. Number 2. Get involved in a real estate investment group. A hands-off approach. This is ideal for those looking to own a slice of the real estate market, but it takes away the hassles of managing the property. This will provide an income alongside appreciation. Number 3. Try your hand at flipping, otherwise known as real estate trading. Flipping is best suited to those with real estate experience. Here you'll work in a shorter period. This can yield significant returns in shorter time frames. Number 4. Invest in REITs. These encourage exposure to real estate and a chance to build a portfolio, but not in the traditional way. REITs are more commonly known as real estate investment trusts. These just need investment capital to get started. They offer dividend-paying stocks in return on those longer-term leases that produce cash. The advantages of investing in REI. There are many advantages for those deciding to invest in real estate. A few include: real estate is one of the more accessible investments. REI is easier to understand. It's considered a passive income. It's an avenue to help you build wealth. REI is more controllable and thus improvable. Real estate investment portfolios cope well with inflation. The disadvantages of investing in REI. As with all investments and financial decisions, there are disadvantages to REI. These are a few to be aware of before making any investment decisions. REI requires a higher initial investment. Real estate naturally demands ongoing maintenance costs. REI presents low liquidity as properties can't be so quickly sold. Some people believe REI creates significant liabilities. This is on financial and legal matters. Final thoughts. When done properly, real estate can offer great returns. Real estate investments are considered the most accessible avenue when starting off in investing. It also allows and indeed encourages more people to access this financial avenue. Ultimately, the returns gained from real estate all depends on your commitment. This involves as much effort and knowledge as you're prepared to put into your ventures. But as an industry that continues to thrive, REI is certainly worth considering further. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please click the thumbs up and write your personal tips in the comments below. Thank you for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more from us. See you in the next video.